Hello, friends and dear ones. Welcome to Sacred Mischief. My name is Zeb Green. I am the MC, the Master of Ceremonies here. Today, for our punk devotional, we'll be looking at one of the songs by Shane Macgowan and the Popes off their album, The Snake. For our devotional reading, for our spiritual practice of looking into punk music as a source of spiritual insight and support. For those of us who didn't grow up loving the music of church, maybe grew up without church, who have been hurt by the church. Those of us who had to find other sources of inspiration, other sources to feed our spirits, and maybe punk music was yours like it was mine. If you have not heard the song Snake with Eyes of Garnet, we will have a link for it in the description to this video. Encourage you to watch it, encourage you to listen to it. Share at least a brief snippet of it for you, reading it as if it were poetry. The snake cannot be captured, the snake cannot be tied, the snake cannot be tortured or hung or crucified. It came down through the ages, it belongs to you and me. So pass it on and pass it on till all mankind is free. If you miss me on the harbor, for the boat it leaves at 3, take the snake with eyes of garnet my mother gave to me. Today I had quite the shock. Shane Macgowan, frontman from the Popes, the Pogues, and the oft-neglected nipple erectors, died. November 30th, 2023, certainly more years than any of us expected. Shane, somewhat legendary in terms of alcohol and drug consumption. Shane, a force of nature who kept going. Shane, who inspired many poor decisions in the rest of us. Perhaps we failed to reach his artistic talent, so we followed other habits instead. Or was that just me? Shane's music, especially the Pogues, gripped me at such a young age. These were the first albums outside of Broadway musicals that I could listen to endlessly on repeat. The first albums that justified a snarly attitude, that justified reckless adventure, that expressed deep frustration with this world and embracing a commitment to poetry and art despite it all. With such a long career in music, what do we say today? What music to listen to? I mean, obviously the entire discography of the Pogues and the Popes. But today, at this moment with you right now, I'm looking at the snake with eyes of garnet. The song describes a dream of going back to Ireland in the 19th century and watching the execution of a freedom fighter. Shane gets a brief talk with the freedom fighter who passes on a talisman, a ring of a snake with eyes of garnet. A talisman that, unlike us, can never be destroyed. A talisman to keep passing on from one person to another until the whole world is free. When I look at my political education, it wasn't the histories I read, the social reports, or even the news that most inspired me to take action and make change. It started with music, the Pogues, and Shane Macgowan. It started with hearing songs about the oppression of the Irish, and not just ancient Ireland, but the Irish in Northern Ireland during the 80s and 90s, the Ireland under occupation. My own ancestry is Irish. It hit hard, these songs, these people who are my cousins, very distantly related. Regrettably, I went through a period of saying that I knew oppression because I was Irish. I followed that god-awful rabbit hole that annoys many, and worse, it whitewashes oppression. No one needs privileged asses getting drunk, singing rebel songs, and missing the entire fucking point of who needs to be freed. Eventually, I grew to see how privileged I was, and that I couldn't claim my Irish ancestry as a point of current oppression. The music did help break up my privileged viewpoint. It helped me hear the voices, the rage, the sorrow of oppressed people. It helped me feel the gulf of the rose-colored way the world is painted versus the way it is actually experienced. I got a brief glimpse into some of the sorrow and rage experienced by my distant, symbolic relatives. I saw how anyone can be discriminated against. I began to realize that it was just a few quirks of fate that had me descended from the oppressor class instead of an oppressed class. These songs weren't just about the Irish. Pass it on and pass it on until all mankind is free. Struggles are connected. Struggles are global. It didn't take much research to see how the Catholics in Northern Ireland saw kinship with occupied Muslims in Palestine. If we want to throw off the oppressors, we need to throw off the oppressors everywhere. We want to end occupation, we need to end occupation everywhere. The forces of occupation, of separating people, of demonizing minority religions, well, damn, fuck, that shit's a global trait. To fight for freedom for ourselves means freedom for our global neighbors. We need solidarity. Our songs need to liberate all people. Shane's music, while romanticizing the heroes, did not paint a pretty picture. He swung, his face went purple, and a roar came from the crowd. Freedom fighters will be demonized, will be killed, and the people will celebrate our deaths. All the same, pass it on and pass it on till all mankind is free. Shane is gone, but we've got the snake with eyes of Garnet still in our hands. Rest in peace. Thank you for the music, and thank you for the poetry. I want to invite us with that reflection to maybe moving into a place of our own introspection, our own reflection. Take a moment to get grounded in your seat. Take a moment to get grounded in your body. Take a few deep breaths. Invite in the spirit of mischief and inspiration. How have your people been oppressed? How have they been oppressors? Who in your history, in your ancestry, has resisted oppression? Where do you draw inspiration from? What dreams do you have? What talisman do you possess that can't be destroyed? How do you pass that talisman on to inspire others? Please join me in a spirit of prayer. Spirit of mischief, intangible, dreamlike, a shadow just out of sight. Give us something we can hold. Give us something as our heroes die and fade away that can inspire us to take action. Help us find a connection to our history, to our martyrs and freedom fighters, to those who didn't back down. Give us something of theirs, something down the ages, passed from mother to child, from resistor to activist. Help be a bridge to our forgotten history. Connect us to a legacy. Help us find the ring, the thing that we can rally around. Something that their firing squads and hangman nooses, their scorns and cheers and jeers did not destroy and cannot silence. Help us to hold on to inspiration in the ongoing struggle, and help us to pass it on and pass it on until all people are free. Till all people are free. Amen. Take care, friends, until we meet again. Pass it on and pass it on.